Welcome to Talk Cosmos, the show where Sue Rose Minahan and her guests bring you insightful conversations to awaken heart and soul consciousness. Come journey with us exploring the meaningfulness of astrology's energetic cycles and get ready to understand your path in the cosmic roots of the stars.
Hello, I'm Sue Minahan. This is Talk Cosmos, and we are celebrating once again for 2026 the Summer Solstice, that culmination of light that magnifies and illuminates life itself. Now, that's on the Northern Hemisphere. Southern is their winter, but we are here on the Northern Hemisphere, and this is going to be our consciousness. But in this show, which is Vibrational Astrology, it looks at all the planets. So no matter where you are, it's happening. I need to be transparent. We are pre-recording this. Unusual, but yet things are disruptive. Uranus is in force. There's many vacations, and so it's necessary. And it's ahead enough that with all the events happening in the immediate moment of Uranus, things could be happening that we can't quite comment on. So just to let you know, but we're ready because it doesn't matter. We're all part of this fabric of discovering the paths. There isn't just one path. We all have our little tributaries as the rain follows down, and we're going on our little, oh boy, I'm taking up time here, but it's almost like I think of a balloon hanging down from, anyway, we're happening. Okay, we're ready. Thank you. On to the vibrational story of the summer solstice.
Quarterly on the third week, an exhilarating Talk Cosmos program embraces the equinox and solstice. The insightful lens of vibrational astrology frequencies reveals the energetic themes for each 3-month season. These individual and collective messages, initiated by the equinox and solstice moments, are supported by spiritually inspired Sabian symbols aligned on a soul and spirit basis. Get ready for our vibrational astrologers as they share this season's wisdom.
I'm Sue Rose Minahan, founder of Talk Cosmos since 2018. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, consultant, speaker, writer, vibrational astrology student, Dwarf Planet University graduate, Kepler Astrology Toastmasters Club charter member. I have a fine arts music degree plus a certificate in jazz. I'm an artist, musician, and certified color energy life coach. Especially, I love mythology and esoteric philosophies.
I'm Robert Pacitti, professional consulting astrologer and the visionary behind Deep Earth Astrology and the Deep Earth Astrology Tarot, a divination tool and teaching aid that integrates astrology, herbalism, and natural reverence. I specialize in vibrational and psychological techniques and infuse my practice with a deep connection to nature's spirituality. I'm currently the Grand Pendragon in the Ancient Order of Druids in America and the director of the Magus Gathering in Gore, Virginia.
And I'm Linda Berry. I hold a professional astrology certificate in vibrational astrology from the Avalon School of Astrology, as well as a Master of Science in Social Work and bachelor degrees in psychology, mathematics, and computer programming. I teach vibrational astrology courses in the School of the Astrology of Vibrational Energetics online. I created Frequency Finder and add-on to Cosmic Patterns, Sirius, and Kepler software. Frequency Finder provides an in-depth astrological analysis of your astrology chart. As a vibrational astrology researcher, I moderate a vibrational astrology research group, am an international consultant, a published author, and the writer of a free daily blog, the Vibrational Astrology Diary.
As an ancient mathematician, Pythagoras' Music of the Spheres about vibrating stars and planets, the electrical engineer Nikola Tesla said, "If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Thank you. We have the summer solstice vibrational patterns, and let's just begin. This is on the 21st of June. It's the longest day of the year. The sun is in the shortest night. It's light triumphing, a celebration since before Babylonia, before we started recording. It's just part of our heritage. This happens to be Stonehenge, as many are familiar with. That is England. But at that time, all over Earth, there were monuments being built. The consciousness, it indicates there wasn't necessarily a messenger. It was just happening in their brain cells. It's our reflection, the hermetic code of Earth on as above. Looking at the seasons, it is because Earth tilted. Science tells us, yes, we had a huge meteorite that just bumped us right off the course. In fact, those dinosaurs of 200,000 years suddenly perished in a day, according to some Netflix that I see. But this is the Northern Hemisphere, the summer solstice, when the sun is at the 0-degree Cancer, which it is everywhere. But yet we're experiencing once again the summer, whereas in the southern, it'll be winter. On the 21st, in Eastern time, that'll be in the morning at 4:24:13. And down below, let's say in Sydney, that's going to be on the 21st also, but in the evening, it'll be 6:24 p.m. It means the sun stands still. But that's our vision from our position here on Earth. Remembering this is always a personal experience, no matter how elevated we look with the perspective. And so it pauses for 3 days, which is also part of our heritage of legacy and many mythologies and everything, and religions. Vibrational astrology is resonance, is frequency patterns. There's many techniques. When you study, there are books, there's software that Linda Berry, who's on this show, created for David Cochrane's cosmic patterns. They still research tremendously. There's an enormous community. It's a lot of fun. And there's classes starting, so join in. Nikola Tesla, a great scientist who in 1899 in his laboratory, this is that particular double exposure picture, but what his quote that's really evident that tells us the consciousness of the legacy of vibrations. If you wish to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. A few of the very foundational definitions for the planets discovered through David Cochrane's research in, looking at him as founding this art form of, not art form, but this form of astrology. The sun and the moon represent time. Mercury is mental connections, and you can read the rest of them. It happens to be that Jupiter will be ingressing in Leo in a couple of weeks, or in a week after the solstice. And anything it touches gets bigger. Not good, bad. It just expands as we think of it. Thank you. We're ready now for Linda, because she's going to show us what this is all about.
Okay there. Let's see. Am I coming through okay?
Always. You're automatic. Nate's got you covered.
All right. So, longest day of the year, shortest day of the year, all at the same time. A time of extremes. Here is the chart for the summer solstice. And this chart has Eris, Sedna, and Haumea in it, as well as the standard planets. And that creates some really interesting structures. So in a sense, the sun, look at here, all that going on, and the sun doesn't have 1 3-planet pattern. That doesn't, it's more like, the universe is shouting about these bigger levels at the summer solstice. So let's look at this here. The first really interesting thing about this, to go back here to the original one, the strongest energy in the summer solstice is still the Uranus-Sedna conjunction that happened on May 24th. They haven't gotten but about a degree apart. And here, can you see that better now?
Sure. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. They're just a little over a degree apart, and that's the energy that we're dealing with. So, and that energy is about the breaking in. We talked about it with Sue and Talk Cosmos about the Uranus-Sedna conjunction. The three of us did. And it's about breaking the structure of the world, cracking it open, and new structures showing up.
And it's not an easy process, because it seems like there is this concept of empowerment through suffering that seems to run through. And, you know, the whole culmination point of the solstice, just as a solar event, really leads us into this very, very interesting time going up through July astrologically. It seems like the solstice in particular is really a checkpoint of the transition of the energies that are going to be happening over the course of the summer.
That's a good way to look at it, because it's incremental. That's how I understand all of this. And to realize that right now is one of the stepping stones is important.
Okay, now the Uranus-Sedna has Mars about to join it, which is going to give it some oomph, and it's within range now. It also, notice how many aspects are off of it, because it's a central focus point of this chart. But the one really strong one to Haumea is about rebirth, or in this case, rebirth, the birth of a new pattern. And the structures in space sign energy, I put several of those in here. It comes out of the Fibonacci series, and it's too much to explain right now, but it's the signs of the zodiac in the Fibonacci series. And for this quincunx, the brown lines across there, it's about bringing a new pattern into form, bringing it to a structure. It was the fixed energy.
I also see, like, there is some kind of poetic relationship in my mind between Haumea and Sedna. One is explosive. One is explosive and above ground, and one has to go into the depths. And so when you pull those energies together, it seems like there is, especially with Mars and Uranus involved, which is kind of, action of the now. Those are very powerful energies to be brought into tandem.
And they work in synastry. Absolutely. I think we all agree with that. But just to express another concept of that to people, because that rebirth process is a long, deeply ingrained with the Sedna energy, releasing so much and enduring what has been, like you said, the grief, not just grief, but the what was that? The sorrow, you have to become. Yes, the empowerment through suffering, meaning that, oh boy, here we go.
Okay, here's the larger pattern. You can see the things that are marked there. These are all connected together, folks.
Yeah.
And what you've got here is, we've had for months, we've had a Uranus, Neptune, Pluto triangles, 2 sextiles and a trine, where Neptune is sitting in the middle of Uranus and Pluto. And it's been going in and out, but it's basically been there for a long time. I didn't even have the time to go look how far.
About 3 years. It's continuing too.
Yeah, it's been going on for quite a while that the three of them are in that relationship. And that is an outer planet pattern, nothing personal about it. It's a compulsive surfacing of awareness. And when you realize that you've got, so you've got Uranus here that's in both. Uranus, Sedna, Mars, and Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And actually, the Sedna right now is still with the Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, but it'll get out. Uranus will get away from it pretty soon. So, looking at the pieces of it, Uranus, Sedna with Pluto. And this was really interesting. This is Uranus, Sedna with Pluto, and this is Uranus, Sedna with Neptune. And they both have the same structures and space patterns, stepping back, operating from a detached, objective position, witness consciousness, the call to evaluate patterns without attachment to any particular pattern, including yours.
Mhm.
That is very...
So with Uranus, Sedna, Pluto, we have a flow of pyrrhic eruptions of new alternative structures clashing with historical structures.
Sounds about right.
That does. I know it's hard to even comment as we are right now. But Uranus, just to remind folks, is right at this moment. It doesn't care about past or future.
And you have to remember, folks, I'm really getting into the fact that Uranus turns on its side. It's laying over on its side. Its north-south axis is on its 90 degrees. It's
east and west
on its circle. So it's literally over on its side. And it brings things that are out of structure with everything else around.
Because they have been out of structure. It actually brings you back home to where things need to be.
So it's almost like Uranus is a bridge to Sedna's alternative patterns. Now here's the Neptune pattern, and this is a sextile pattern. So this is about working with others with whom you share a common vision and sensitivity. There are a lot of hints here about how we need to operate. Okay, then the Uranus, Neptune, Pluto pattern that's been there for months. It's changed its structural pattern as the planets change signs. But at this point, it's about all of us, call for all of us to connect together in a network, with each of us carrying our own part of the load and trusting others to do the same. But again, I already talked about, this is the eruption periodically of visions that let us see there's something more than our current pattern.
Oh, good.
We've been getting this for a couple of years.
And I think that's where kind of the illumination aspect of the solstice comes into play. While this is all about, the collective, trusting others, but we have to carry our own part.
Right.
And I think that as this mini grand trine comes into perfection over the next 30 days or so, it's really going to be about following that path of illumination and not being, I don't want to say not being scared, but not backing away from it.
Being a participant
absolutely.
in any way that you can, because people might think, again, it gets back, well, there's so many other ideas here, but one can make a difference by any kind of action.
Right. Okay, now major vibrational influences. The first one is the strongest pattern in this chart in terms of relationships from coming out of the natal chart. The strongest set of relationships, direct relationships. And this vibration is involved in creative risks based on projected outcomes that can lead to a path of illumination and new growth.
It's so hopeful.
And I think Rob's got some things to say about this.
Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, this 173 is part of the 23 series of vibrations. 23 is really about kind of striking out without knowing what's really going to happen. It's very bold, it's very daring. And the interesting thing about 173 is that it is a prime that sits between two compound vibrations, 143 and 203.
That means ones that compound ones means ones that have factors, folks.
Yes, factor vibrations. 143 is 11 times 13. That's all about kind of reaching out because we have this restless dissatisfaction and finding our special gifts and unique talents. And then on the other side of that, we have 203, which is 29 times 7. All right, which is all about this deep contemplation of how to lessen cultural suffering. So we talked about this solstice being a checkpoint. It's a checkpoint between actions. It's the action of not understanding how we fit into the collective and, wanting to find how our special gifts can contribute to that. And then also how do I actually do that? How do I contemplate about what is going to heal this situation or make it better? And the thing about 29 is there is a cultural context to it. There is a collective context to it already baked in. So, everything that we talked about with the Haumea and the Sedna patterns, the mini grand trine, it's all really a story of how we fit into the collective and not, and participating, as Sue said. And if we look at that, we have that mystic rectangle pattern in there. That is an isotrap. Anytime we see a mystic rectangle, or anytime, at least in my personal experience, when I work with a client with a strong mystic rectangle in a vibration, an isotrap is normally just a hum energy. It's kind of a driving internal force. But when we get this to the mystic rectangle, it really becomes something that goes from just the inner hum to an aura or a presence. It emanates. And if you look at the planets involved with that as well, we're talking Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay, it's about fighting for our ideals and getting to that path of illumination and metered new growth. So it's all there, right within the major aspect pattern in the chart. And then obviously, we have some other things going on. What are your thoughts on this, Linda?
One of the things I'm struck by, in addition to the mystic rectangle, is that big T-square.
Mm-hmm.
You have Sun, Mars, Moon over here. I think you all can see my cursor. I don't know if you... No, you can't. Okay, you got Sun, Mars, Moon on the left, this big line going to 3 planets. And on the right, you've got Jupiter. And at the top, you've got Haumea. So now Mars-Jupiter, first of all, Mars-Jupiter is taking big actions. This is with the sun and the moon. So this is emotionally driven, big actions that bring birth and rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
That's the T-square. Then you've got the trine sextile here, which is part of the mystic rectangle. But that T-square is an additional pattern there that points to the shift that we're talking about here. And folks, birth is typically painful. Just the process of giving birth is painful. Think about what a woman goes through. And even with anesthetic. And folks, I don't know where the anesthetic is right now. Sorry.
Well, there is. I think that's why Sedna does have this empowerment through that. In a sense, it's not a one end. And we often think when there's a little caption of a definition that's where it ends. No, it's a process. It is part of the path, but you can't get through it. To get to the end, you have got to go through this. And just for folks to know, isotrap means 4 planets, but they're not in, as we can see here, it's very symmetrical. It's like a mystic triangle has 60 and 90 degrees, or 60 and 120. So it's very symmetrical, and it rotates and it goes back and forth and everything. It reinforces. But I think as far as an antidote, there isn't a one bullet for anything. I mean, a silver bullet. It's a process, but recognizing.
And we've got 2 flags on this. One is Mercury Haumea.
Yeah,
we need to change our thinking.
It's going to take time.
And the other one is Sedna to the sun. We need to open up to an alternative understanding of things.
I also think that we need to clarify that Haumea is not gentle. You know, I know we're talking, you know, it's like, I don't think that is being driven home enough, is that this is explosive. This is volcano energy. This is not
right. It can be. And one of the things, just to go back to the mythology for a moment, folks, Haumea was a really exceptional goddess because she didn't just need to use her womb to give birth. She could do it through her arm or her leg or whatever.
Haumea was not Sedna. Haumea.
Haumea.
Yeah. No,
okay. Anyway, it was Haumea.
Yeah.
So we're talking about things changing in very unexpected, non-traditional ways. Now we have
in Hawaii, I will just say, where I live, last night, the volcano went up and we had an earthquake just 10 miles from us. And we had another one before. You know, it's all relationship with this Uranus Sedna. Yeah.
Okay. We've got 2 5-planet patterns in this natal chart. And this just shows you all the aspects, and I show these are all 131. This is vibration 131. All of these are some value of 131. And then we've got one with 269, but we'll look at this one first. Here's the 131. Here's what it is in 131, where it becomes that 5-planet conjunction off the natal chart. All right. Seeking to find a new way for society to function, where we can create a beautiful, realistically balanced flow of sharing with each other.
Mm-hmm. That's really important. And I think that really fits into the theme of this kind of illumination leading to new growth, because what does growth mean right now? All right. I talk to a lot of clients. I know you both do as well. You know, one of the main messages that I'm getting from people is they don't feel like they can connect to their Jupiterian qualities, finding meaning, growing, expanding, making things bigger. They feel very kind of smothered right now. Mm-hmm. That just, you know, we're talking about new growth, and it's not always as gentle as, you know, the flower blooming from the ground. All right. It is going to be a rougher process than just, going along with the ride. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
The seed has to crack open for the plant to come out.
Yeah. And it's going to be that the new growth we're going to have to kind of like do some heavy lifting to clear some of the things that are, blocking us.
It's going to be laid out in these. Let's get to a couple.
If we look at the factors, that is 120 plus 11. 11 is on and on and on, and 120 is 6 times 120 times. Anyway, it's never ending. It's a process. Yeah. Yes. So
okay. And this was really weird. These are 2 pretty much disconnected patterns. Well, they have some of the same planets, but the vibration 131 pattern and the vibration 269 pattern, they're different structures in really different parts of the zodiac. They have the same structures in space sign pattern. These two 5-planet patterns. And in both cases, it's what in astrology we would call the mutable pattern. Mm-hmm. And what it's about is you actually have to change your entire mode of operation. Like in spring, the plants are coming out. In summer, they're fruiting and growing. That's a different mode of operation. This is like a seasonal change, but this one is on a deeper level. There is a change, a metamorphosing of our internal pattern to operate differently that is part of this period. And that's true for the world. That's true for the structures all over the world.
I like how you put like a seasonal change, because it is a seasonal change, both, in the material and in the, spiritual realm.
More universal.
And it has to do about our values. I'm looking at that yod that
Yeah.
and inclusivity with Eris that says, you got to take it all in. And what have you been excluding? But it is that of, Neptune of what
Visions of
special names, but
exclusion
what's the
versus
values
inclusion.
of it? Hmm?
Yep.
Yeah, refocusing. And
Yeah.
it's not a simple thing because it's not just your idea of perhaps what has been, but taking
It's
into
learning
account
to
of
change
everybody.
what you understand is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, by beautiful, what seems to, flow.
Okay, so here's
flow.
the other pattern, 269, modifying our traditions to make them work better in today's world, recognizing that there are many valid ways to understand the world and help us evolve ourselves. 269. And again, this is that totally changing your structure thing.
I think it's important. This is very important because this is really one of the most healing steps that we need to take as a society right now, and even throughout the entire world. As far as, realizing that there are differences between people, there are differences between things, but we need to modify our ideas, our concepts of things, and bring them back into focus so that we can come back together.
It's a good call to action. I'm glad, Linda. Thank you for specifying, modifying traditions, because it's one thing to look at them, but to realize just what Rob's saying here, what you're both presenting is constructive and a step, because people often listen and they want to know, but what do I do? Well,
So this would be a good place for the break if we're looking for that.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, folks, we'll be right back with Rob Pacitti and Linda Barry. The summer solstice that is maybe unlike any others, but we're all part of it. Here we go. Thank you.
While we take a break from this week's edition of Talk Cosmos, let's take a look at this cycle's archetype. Currently, we are in the period of Cancer. By leading a cycle based on connecting mental communication to the external, the energy of Cancer involves emotions, which create our personal story through our emotional associations and attachments. As a cardinal water sign that is nurturing, Cancer needs to process emotions in one's own internal rhythm of cycles in order to complete an evolution.
Talk Cosmos ignites insightful conversations to awaken heart and soul consciousness with hour-long programs every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific on KKNW. Also available to watch live on the Talk Cosmos YouTube channel and Facebook page. While you're there, make sure you click their like and subscribe buttons so you get the full Talk Cosmos experience. You can listen to earlier podcasts since 2018, either on most podcast carriers or under the video tab on Talk Cosmos YouTube. To join our expedition and find out about upcoming programs, sign up for the newsletter at talkcosmos.com and launch your week into the cosmic wonder.
This is Martha Norwalk. Every Sunday morning, beginning at 9 a.m., thanks in part to NewProSupplements.com, we cover the world of animals. This week, it's an encore presentation. Tune in to hear our last energy balancing show with Linda Rasmussen. We took phone calls, and Linda helped callers and their animal friends with emotional, behavioral, and physical issues, and you can receive a surrogate healing just by tuning in, listening, and following along with Linda's instructions. Martha Norwalk's Animal World, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to noon, right here on Alternative Talk, AM 1150.
Conversation you won't find on the rest of the dial. Alternative Talk 1150.
We're back again. And again, this is a little slide that indicates on a quick basis how to reach Linda Barry and her School of the Astrology of Vibrational Energetics, which is at her website, astrosleuth.org. Might be a handful to listen to, or an earful, but you have this to check back on. And Rob Pacitti, Deep Earth Astrology, and the Magus Gathering, and myself, of course, the Talk Cosmos. Linda's School of the Astrology of Vibrational Energetics has just begun a class. Perhaps if you're just eager and cannot stand it, you want this introduction, you can still contact her. It's possible because there are repeats of, you can listen to the catch-ups of the videos. And it started on Saturday. Next year, it'll start on a Thursday. And I know that makes a difference for folks, but you can email Linda at astrologicaldepth.com. And again, this shows a little bit of that information for her school and the email. In addition to that, Linda presents daily, and this is free for anybody. It's based on the vibrations, but she flushes it out, so it's good to understand. But it's a daily diary of the planets and covers along with the new moon that's been happening and a lot of, and Sabians too, a lot of good info. But if you want a more personalized focus for $20 a month, Linda specifically tailors that report to you and your chart. You get a lot of good information about it. And there is a fee for that one. Either one, email Linda, astrologicaldepth.com. Hey, the second annual convention. And Rob has a lot to talk about this because he's the head chief of organizing this along with Linda. It is Linda's child. It's November 20th to 22nd. It's going to be the week before Thanksgiving because we have UAC in September, folks. So there's a breathing process. We'll all be ready to reunite. And it is online. You can join anywhere. There's 2 tracks. It's beginning or intermediate advanced. And that'll open up in July. Anything, Rob, you want to add?
We're super excited. We had a really great first start last year. We're hoping to, keep that going. It's a really good space to really meet the community of vibrational astrologers. One of my favorite things about the vibrational astrology community is how welcoming it is to new ideas, to new people, to new concepts. In so many areas of astrology, it's very rigid. Vibrational astrology is looking to expand.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities for researchers and people just to really, connect to new thoughts and to a form of astrology, which I think is going to be making a lot of sense and gaining a lot of ground over the years to come.
It's so solid, just in the very basis. It's fundamental. You can bridge off it. It's like a seed. Yes. And it's scientific, if anything, with all that research. It's addictive. That's what it is. It's addictive. So to Rob, you are Deep Earth Astrology and a consulting astrologer. Your faculty at the Center of Relationships and Astrology, which is with Margaret Gray in Ireland, Grand Pendragon of the Ancient Order of Druids. And that's become quite an event. I know you had 2,000 people or something. It's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been going well with the Druid community. We're recording for the solstice. This is one of our big celebrations of the year. So always good to celebrate the solstice with some magical talk.
And it seems to be evident, according to what Linda's saying, that this is paramount. Find your community. It could be, a little more than your cat or dog. Find somebody, a neighbor or whoever. But many of us, there's so many opportunities nowadays to step out. And here's a little tool that will help people. Tell us about your Deep Earth Astrology and we'll flip on.
Yeah, it is a tarot deck that really explores the relationship between the heavens and the earth through the lens of nature spirituality. We have so many people that are involved with the paganism and the nature spirituality that want to learn about astrology from a context that maybe they're more comfortable with. So that's why it's going to come with the Deep Earth Grimoire, which is going to explain the entire process and how to use the deck. Been working on this for quite some years. I've had some very mini grand trine between the outer planets issues going on with tariffs and such. But we are going to be doing our preliminary release. It's going to be a special edition that's released at UAC this year in Chicago, and then we will do our public release in December of 2026.
Sounds exciting. Myself, next week will be the mystery charts, Astro Jam, and the theme will be Summer Solstice. Rob's on that. As a matter of fact, it's very exciting. It's a discovery, and you do learn a great deal also historically about what we reveal. And then following that will be Jupiter and Leo with Kay Taylor. And then, of course, our new moon, full moon, and the night 4th anyway. And this is in the past. And here, as you can see, Rob and Linda, we did the Uranus Sedna at 1 degree, Gemini, that Linda's been mentioning, in addition to others. So you can just go on the playlist, or if you have to ask me, but it should be evident all this information on the website. Okay, I thank everybody and eager to find out the next sequence with Linda.
Okay. Interweaving. This is planets in one vibration that are exactly on planets in another vibration. And I'm talking about less than 1 second difference in their positions. This is an unheard of level of accuracy, but that's what we're finding. All right. So this is the strongest interweaving for the summer solstice. And it's Mercury and Mars. And the first thing you need to do is to think about what Mercury and Mars does. Mars puts energy into the mind, into learning, into making connections, mental connections between different kinds of things. So we've got the Mercury in vibration 126, which is 126 is dealing with recognizing our common needs that transcend differences and helping everyone to reach their personal goals, understanding that people make mistakes and supporting them while they correct their mistakes. This has 36 underlying it. And 36 is an amazing vibration that's about supporting people even when they hurt you. It's really fascinating. To understand that maybe they didn't mean to do it and to move to help them be still a part of the community. There is a sense of, in this one and in the other one, that we have to let go of what happened before. Okay, maybe people in the past made decisions that they didn't understand, and it helped them to create some of the things that are happening, but it's revealing the problems involved. It's revealing the things we need to heal for all of us. There's this process here of, here's the other one. Mars is in 341, which is 31 times 11, folks. And that is acting to make a different societal structure, trying many different patterns to see which ones share, which one works. Sharing what you find with others, recognizing that there are forces beyond yourself involved, and being willing to transcend social boundaries.
I think it's important to define 31 and 11.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because 31 is your unique way that you see. I mean, I know, Linda, you'll work on
your unique way of seeing how the world should operate. And 11 is reaching out and trying new things.
Yeah, and never finishing, always thinking more. It's like it
always expanding,
like the river that just keeps moving. But to me, it's like that's, and it's so important to meet those people with whom you can connect, because other people are connecting in their groups, and hopefully you can.
Well, this is about transcending our normal groups. This is about embracing people that maybe in the past did things you don't like, or that you think are really, really wrong.
Like Eris saying,
moving into
inclusivity
of working together.
It could also be about unifying against a collective enemy. That is
exactly that's the point.
That is, it's no longer just about it. It's about putting things aside to galvanize yourself against the true problem.
Yes, I hear that.
So what we have underneath that is we have this process. Oops, sorry about that. We have this process. I forgot to put move a slide over. We have this process where this is the vibration in the middle between 126 and 341. And this lets us bring the patterns together. And what we have here is it's 233.5. And yes, half vibrations exist. They are significant. That's another week's story. It combines 233 and 234, taking risks based on projections of probable outcomes, supporting personal growth in the community, working on fixed areas where fixing areas where communities create damage to individuals, moving out, taking risks to bring changes that improve community individual interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, we talked about this with Sedna, and Sedna is still such a major player in this whole fabric of this solstice event. And, the combination of Uranus, I keep thinking of these data centers. I mean, I don't, it just seems like a very unifying call to people right now.
Yeah.
And I just see the flashes of what these data centers and, not even necessarily AI itself, but just the data centers and what they represent as being a unifying theme where people are like, I don't like where this is going. We can't get along about anything, but we may be able to get along about this. And it's all over the world.
Yeah. And the process, the question, one of the underlying questions is, AI here to serve people, or are people here to serve AI?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, always.
We need to
It's
think
that
about what we're going to do about that. But there's a lot more going on than just that, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, indeed.
Sabian symbols for the summer to winter of 2026. Here we are. First one, would you believe? Now remember, I use the sun-moon distance on the solstice. And it's children skating on ice. If you would believe that. Putting into practice the skills you've developed, maneuvering cheerfully and flexibly through difficult and demanding environments. Learning to watch for signs of possible danger. Aware that everything can collapse at any time. It's ice, folks.
Yeah, cracks.
Okay. And then if you're not aware, you end up recklessly rushing into situations without evaluating how safe they are, failing to see the fracture lines that indicate danger to
Yeah,
yourself.
you have to learn how to stop on ice.
Right.
Yeah.
Without ice. Then we have the soul intention. This is a really interesting one. This is early Aries. We just had Saturn and Neptune go through this degree. A cameo profile of a man, that means a person, in the shape of their country. Connecting into your cultural inheritance, understanding how it shapes you, and using the part of you that's shaped that way to effectively express within the context of the world around you.
These both mirror very much everything else. The playfulness of communities trying to figure out what, with the one to work ahead. And then hear about the social context, the culture, beyond social, the culture.
But there's a point here connected with that objectivity we talked about earlier, to not get swallowed up by the cultural pattern so that you're just regurgitating it. We've got all kinds of things here that show that we need to take our traditions and look at how they can work right today.
Yeah, it's easy to get stuck with attachments.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. The last symbol, spirit wisdom, the rainbow's pot of gold.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that interesting? You are seeing a vision of your heart's desire and feeling inspired by this vision. And this enables you to start seeing the things that would block you from pursuing your dream. Or else the other danger. The danger is to get caught up in an illusion of great abundance and fooling yourself into thinking that you already have what you want in your hand and that you don't need to do anything to get it.
Speaking of an antidote, that would be the antidote, because in the process of getting to your heart's desire, you might fall into that fooling yourself, and then you can checkmate yourself and go,
Well,
wait a minute.
the point is to look at what's blocking you. The point of this is what's keeping you from reaching the pot of gold?
Yeah, meaning that when you do, it could well be, however, you've been fooling yourself
If you get
that
past
you already
the
have
blocks,
it.
you'll get the real thing. If you don't get past the blocks, you'll get the illusion.
Right, but the block, exactly. I'm just thinking, though, to understand what blocks would be. The block here is that
They're
you already think
different
you
for
have
everybody.
something.
No,
Well-
the blocks are different for everybody.
Well, right, but whatever it is, you already think you have it instead of something that
You think you have the desire, and you're not looking at what's keeping it from being real.
yeah.
And there are certainly macro concepts that we could address as far as
Definitely,
these
though.
meetings as well. I mean, the illusion, and this we are talking about also, how this fits into that major aspect pattern of the outer planets right now as well.
Yeah.
And that really is one of the main narratives that we're going to be seeing over the next few months and developing that. And it's very telling.
It is. Thank you.
So
Linda.
that we just went through those. Thank you for being
Oh
here.
no, go ahead and review those if you'd like. We have time here. It'd be great for people
okay.
to kind of
Well,
see those through.
this focuses on the opportunities to put into practice the skills you've developed, maneuvering cheerfully and flexibly through difficult and demanding environments, learning to watch for signs of possible danger, aware that everything could collapse at any time, to work on cutting away the dross and revealing the true essence underneath, to connect into your spiritual inheritance, letting it shape you, recognizing that this lets you effectively express yourself within the context of the world around you, to see a vision of your heart's desire and feel inspired by this vision, enabling you to start seeing the things that would block you from pursuing your dream.
It's very interesting is that what you said is exactly a parallel to the mythology of Sedna in a lot of ways.
That's right, because she thought that she had a good mate, but it turned out that she was deceived. And actually what was deceiving her was that attachment to past conditioned ideas. And when she tried to get rescued by those ideas, her father, representing that, threw her off the boat.
Well, he got
the canoe and then
attacked.
cut her fingers
He got
off.
attacked by the husband, and it was
but that was the ideas.
And
but it was the ideas. It was the ideas.
It was going to kill him.
Exactly. In other words, you think that what you had in your brain is going to be the salvation, but actually that is not the crucible, but the hangsman's noose. That's not working. You've got to totally eliminate it.
Okay, now the pitfalls. Recklessly rushing into situations without evaluating how safe they are. Failing to see the fracture lines that indicate danger to yourself and others. Getting swallowed up by your cultural patterns so you become a caricature of your racial or cultural stereotypes, and being caught up in an illusion of great abundance, fooling yourself into thinking that you already have what you want in your hand and that you don't need to do anything to get it.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
It does, doesn't it? Here we go. May the pattern of our year grow and develop, bringing us the fruit that we truly need to nourish all of us.
Well, these seeds seem to begin right in the beginning of connecting. I keep going back to that because it's a smaller step. There's so many of these big ideas. It's like climbing up a tree. But by connecting somehow with those people that matter to us, something within that we can share, we can start bridging and developing.
We're all in this together.
Way. Well, that's it. Yeah, that's another important factor.
Happy solstice.
Yeah, well, we do have those celebrations for the solstice always, and that's immediately a time to bring it connected into our hearts, through the warmth of a fire or a community. We have 5 minutes here, folks. We can finish this up. We're not leaving. So really, your feedback on this, like for takeaway thoughts, as far as, like I was saying, the connection with realizing that that's the bridge. Well, thanks, Linda Barry, for once again an illustrious, insightful viewpoint into a prescription. We have tools here at our hand. We don't have to be the victim. We can be empowered, whether it's through whatever grief and sorrow. But Rob Pacitti, thank you too. This is great. Enjoy your gathering, and may we all be gathering.
Happy solstice.
Yeah.
Happy solstice.
Thank you for joining this vibrant and insightful conversation on Talk Cosmos, the show where Sue Rose Minahan and her guests awaken consciousness by connecting heart and soul consciousness patterns with astrology's energetic cycles. Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same place, to continue your journey through the roots of the cosmic pathway.